she wanted me to talk about some practical things, like especially which is specific to South Asian community, women, dealing with kids. I'm not a child psychiatrist, so disclaimer, I'm not an expert in anything related to child. But data pathina, 1 in 5 South Asian women suffer from depression or anxiety. So if you want to see like what is depression, what is anxiety now, it's not sadness or stress that we have every day. That is normal. That's part of being human. Like you have a bad day at work, your kid is sick, you feel sad, you feel upset. That's okay. That's part of being human. Depression is a medical illness, just like all the physical illnesses that Devi talked about. Depression is a medical illness. And the reason that no one talks about it is, it's not visible to everybody. Like, if you had a fracture or if you had like some, even fever, people would notice most of the time. Hey, but when you are depressed, first of all, not everyone who's depressed acts like the TV it can be a normal person who's coming to work every day, who's going through depression. You may not realize that. Plus, there is also stigma in our community to talk about depression or anxiety. Like saying like, oh, I feel down and depressed means, oh, you have to just will through it. What are you going to be depressed about? So there needs to be a differentiation about depression and sadness. Sadness is like something is there that's making you sad. Like you lose someone near and dear, you're going through grief. That is normal. But feeling sad for more than 2 weeks at a time, there is a change in behavior, they're more withdrawn than usual. Talk to them. It could be a family member, it could be your friends. Having that avenue to talk to somebody about that itself is the first or a step towards getting help. Sorry, now remember Tamil English mati pesana, sorry for that. Plus, in a community, I don't want to generalize, but typically in South Asian communities, because I trained in India too, I've seen that like anything related to mental health is like there's something wrong with that person, like something broken about that person. Mental health is from your brain. Brain is part of you. So it is a medical issue that needs help, and there are avenues available. Like Devi Rumba Nalla pesnanga, the physical health, sleep, how to be rest, adhe madri. Mental health is also a spectrum. You can do things to keep your mental health healthy, even if you don't have any mental illness. You can, but despite that, due to environment, genetic reasons, you can develop mental illness. So we have to differentiate those two things. So there are things that we can do to like prevent that mental illness from happening. But if it happens, it's just like any physical illness. You get a fever, you get cancer, you get any other physical illness, you go to a medical doctor, you get help. And the way that we treat patients are 2 different ways. One is counseling or therapy, the talk therapy where we don't use medications. But there are some instances when patients do need medications. And it's very gratifying. நம்ம வந்து ஒரு பேஷண்ட்டை ட்ரீட் பண்ணிட்டு அவங்க ரொம்ப நல்லா நான் வந்து say I'm being my old self, family members coming and saying like, hey, my child is back to being their old self, they're happy-go-lucky again, they're doing the things they were doing, their grades are picking up, and the மாதிரிலாம் சொல்லும்போது it's very gratifying for us. So but the main important thing as parents or family members recognizing that ஏதோ ஒரு சேஞ்ச் இருக்கு அந்த குழந்தைக்குன்னா getting that help, or like family members for change இருக்குன்னா talking to somebody. If you don't have to go to a psychiatrist in the beginning, if there is a lot of resistance. My primary care physicians, most of the primary care physicians here, they're trained. They can treat like simple medical issues treat pandra mari, they can treat mental health issues like depression, anxiety. And if they can't handle it, they usually are able to refer to higher levels of care. And it is very important not to discount that part of our health, because health is not just physical, it's also mental, and because how we are affects people around us, especially if namala immigrant community, we are here, most of us, nama social network vandu indha mari groups la namakku vandu back in India madri extended family, second cousins, third cousins, and the support system vandu namakku illa. So if you see your friends who are going through something difficult, talk to them, and if they need help, help them through it. So I didn't want to go into specifics because I didn't know how much specific you wanted, but I'm available in WhatsApp in our group. So if you have any questions, I cannot be your personal psychiatrist because there are like a lot of boundary and ethical issues that come up in our field that I can't treat friends and I can't treat family, but I can surely help you get to the right resource if someone needs help.
So we talked about some